Yep.
Hey guys, this episode.
No, we're already rolling. You do it when you're ready.
I know. I need you to shut up.
Okay, I'll shut up.
Hey guys, this episode is brought to you by Sinusoid.com. Right now, go over to Sinusoid and look for the sliver cables. If
They're back.
If there's a smaller patch cable on the market, I've never seen it.
Well, it's definitely the smallest soldered patch cable I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool cable. Really unique design. Really tiny little small head on it with a solid shaft that you're really gonna enjoy.
You know what I always forget about, Ryan?
I didn't mean to get so salty right out of the gate there.
You know what I always forget about, Ryan?
Yeah, what do you always forget about?
I forget that sometimes people want to be able to customize the length of their cables. And if that's you, Sinusoid also has solderless kits where you can determine your own length.
Yeah, they do have solderless kits. They've also got pancake plugs for patch cables. What do they call those? They're short stacks? They have a lot of different options for patch cables. You should go check them out. We're big fans of Sinusoid. We love all their products. We're using Sinusoid cables right now with our microphones. So Steve looks confused, but that's a Sinusoid cable. This is a Sinusoid cable. Yours isn't, Steve. That's why you sound like crap.
That's true. All right, so head on over to Sinusoid.com. They're our favorite cable company. What's wrong with you?
I know, right? Get it together. This episode is also brought to you by Nanolog Audio, makers of the Wave Function Overdrive. I did get my demo up last week. I got it up the day after I wanted to, but it still got up.
That pedal is huge, man. How are you sitting on it?
It takes up my whole living room, and I've got a really big living room.
Jeez,
I did a fun little green screen thing where I was sitting on the pedal, playing guitar like a little tiny person. It was like a joke on like Nano, like
because it was
a small joke.
Yeah,
I was just playing a little guitar solo, you know.
Shut up, Dad. You're embarrassing me in front of my friend.
We haven't even introduced our guest yet.
I know.
We'll do that once we get past the sponsors.
But Nanolog Audio, they probably have the first brand new innovation in guitar technology since the new tube.
The first new analog component in a long time. Like the new tube is just like a different version of a tube.
Yeah.
Like this is like a brand new analog component. It's not silicone.
My favorite...
not silicone. It's not silicon. However you want to pronounce it. It's not geranium.
Geranium.
It's like carbon nano based.
Yeah, so
it's crazy. It works with like quantum mechanics, and I know everything works with quantum mechanics, but it like they planned for it to work with quantum mechanics.
It's super cool. The most interesting thing, I got to try out the wave function at NAMM, and so we're talking to Adam, and he goes, you hear the difference between that? I go, yeah, it's really drastic. He goes, that's 1 nanometer.
Yeah. Well, it's like there's two different chips on the wave function.
Well, they're not chips. They're just components. They're nanotransistors.
And one of them is 4 nanometers thin. And the other one is 6 nanometers thin. Mm-hmm. And they sound drastically different from each other. So it's like single measurements of nanos of whatever that is. I assume it's really super small. Makes all the difference in this component.
So
Steve is shaking his head at me.
Head on over to, I believe...
why did you just put this... He just put this hat on my head. It's like this long cone, and it's got a D on the front of it. Is this supposed to mean that I'm dumb?
No, it means you're a dick. So head on over to nanologaudio.com. Right now, the wave function is $219, and you get an additional discount with code 60, Cycle Hum.
That's 15% off of $219. They lowered the price on this thing as we released the demo. It went from $300 down to $219 plus that 15% off. I don't remember what that price is, but it's under $200 after 15% off for sure. This is a lot of pedal to buy for that money.
Yeah,
I'm really impressed with this thing.
Go check it out. Check out our demo on YouTube if you haven't already. nanologaudio.com.
Yep. Hey, this is Ryan.
And Nick.
And Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
We're joined by Nick from Prisma Guitars.
Hi.
We in the pre-up, you were all chatty and just wouldn't shut up. Like, are we recording yet? Are we recording yet? And now you're like, hi.
He probably got hella nervous while we're doing like our sponsor spot.
Like our professional radio bit thing.
I just I heard a lot about nanometers and waves and things.
Snakes and smiles.
Yeah. We didn't do the snakes and smiles bit this time.
Thank God.
Sinusoid cables. They make cables and smiles.
And make you feel like you have a snake behind you.
So what's new, Nick?
Not much. I am basically just moved shops down to... Or I'm moving all my stuff from San Francisco to SoCal, and then I'm going to go to New York and hang there for a minute and focus on, getting everything even bigger and better, and then who knows after that.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You're going to conquer the world. Get out of that small town in San Francisco,
And my hand is good again, kind of.
We'll talk about that in a bit. Yeah. You royally mess up your hand.
Yeah.
In a way I try not to think about
understatement.
because it grosses me out to think about what happened to your hand.
Yeah, I'm like hardly human anymore.
What's new with you, Steve? We're going through our what's new.
Yeah,
segment.
I guess what's new with me is I brought back the Music Area AA31 case because we needed to make a video.
Everyone's going music area crazy right now.
Yeah.
It's totally bananas, and this is not the way we planned for things to go because we got a case from NAMM.
No, we wanted to have this video done so that we could ride this wave, but apparently Amazon fulfillment royally screwed some people, before we were even aware of it. So they cut prices down to wholesale on these cases, and everyone on the Facebook group jumped in on this. So, to say, if you are not in our Facebook group right now, you
missed out.
Out on an insane deal on guitar cases.
These cases are made by the same company that makes cases for a company that's named after a kissing disease,
and also a company that was copied by the brand Fendler amps.
Yes. Also, they made OEM cases for a company named after large aquatic reptiles.
Also, they made cases for a company that produces the Goldwing motorcycle / scooter.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that company also makes guitars.
Oh, are you thinking of Yamaha?
Yeah.
I thought Goldwing was Honda.
Is it Honda?
I don't know. I thought it was.
This is where we fall off the rails.
Yeah. We really lost it this time. But anyways, we got that case from NAMM, and we were like, wow, this is a really great feeling case. And then we learned about that great deal, and we're like, everyone has to know about this. Go buy these cases because they were like $40.
Yeah, they're still doing 40% off right now. It's a musicarea.cn if you want to see
but
what
it's still
models
not
they
as
offer.
cheap as it was.
Not quite as cheap.
But it's still at 40% off. This is a steal on these cases. It's ridiculous. And it's been really crazy seeing everyone getting them the past week.
Super cool.
I would guess that 30 people in the group bought these cases.
At least.
It's bananas. Anyways, this is a part of the show where you ask me what's new, Steve.
What's new with you, Ryan?
And then we'll finally get to talking to our guests and talking about ads and stuff. So what's new with me is I was a special guest on my church's podcast. I helped them get set up with, figuring out how to do podcasts. And I basically was just start doing it and stop asking questions and stop worrying about it. So they started doing it a while back. And I was like, hey, what are your numbers like? And they're like, oh, we could get, this many numbers. And it's like, let me come on your show. I'll get you some numbers. Which is a totally cocky thing to do.
That's what you said?
Yeah, basically.
You're a punk
so
ass.
I'm definitely pimping you guys out and cross promoting just to get numbers over to my church's podcast. But we had a fun little discussion. We talked about churches having major drama and split issues and things like that. So if you like church discussions, it's fun to listen to. We do a lot of joking. If you want to hear about drama in churches because you hate churches, it's also a fun listen. So go check it out.
They should have had me on.
I know.
You came into the church split, but I was born in the church split.
But anyways, it's called 10 Steps Further. It's on iTunes. Go check it out. That's my what's new and half plug for this episode. All right, let's talk.
No, we got one more what's new.
Oh, shoot. We do have one more what's new. I almost forgot. Steve is so angry. He hit the table. I'm scared now.
Anger.
Okay. The other
brand new thing we got is
slap happy because we have Nick here.
Yeah.
And we're all trying to show off for him.
We're trying to be extra professional, but that just means we're more like morning zoo than usual. Our last new thing is the Wrought Iron Effects / Tone Mob / 60 Cycle Hum Kaiburr Fuzz.
And if you've been on the internet, you've already seen me posting demos of it, and everyone else talking about it since this is Monday's episode and it came out last Friday. But it's a super cool fuzz. It's got like a laser sword on it. I don't know what the laser sword is in reference to, but I feel like
it's a laser sword with a laser hilt.
I know, right? What is
Keep talking.
Nick is bringing up something on his phone, but it's a really cool fuzz. It's made to be a fuzz that you can play rhythm with, like play chording with, which is a really cool concept. It kind of breaks up in like more of like an overdrivey sort of way. Oh my gosh. Zoo Crew.
I've been trying to look that up for like 30 minutes. That's why I've been so quiet. I'm like, why does the Wi-Fi in this house suck so bad?
It's because you're in the
garage, dude.
Yeah. But you should go check out.
It was all worth it.
You go check out the Kaiburr Fuzz. You can pre-order it on the Tone Mob website on their web store thing. It's a really fun fuzz with a really fun graphic. Custom case by Ed Chu of Wrought Iron Effects. Everything he does is incredible looking. So yeah, go check it out. See that demo.
Hey Ryan.
Yep.
What else do you think is fun?
What do I think is fun?
Oh, you just said fun like 12 times.
Oh, okay.
He likes to have fun, man.
This is why we don't have guests on, because we get all slap happy when we have guests on. We get too excited. This is all your fault, Nick.
It's when guys are being dudes.
Yeah. Have I mentioned yet that we have Nick from Prisma Guitars here with us?
I think you did.
Just so everyone knows and remembers.
Yeah, just again.
Yeah,
I like hearing it.
He's still here. Nick is still here.
For not that much longer.
Dang.
Just kidding.
You're just going to get up and leave.
Honestly, that was my whole thing, was I wanted to come here and just like roast you guys in front of your face. Just fucking walk up, flip the mic table and leave.
I hate you guys. Only came here to say screw you.
Thanks for the burrito.
I'm out of here.
What kind of joke's on you? Inner Circle paid for that.
Here's my question. You're spending a little bit of time in San Diego, coming from San Francisco, and then you're going to go to New York.
Well, I'm from San Diego.
Right. How do our burritos compare to San Francisco?
Well, I'm biased because I grew up here, so obviously I like everything here. Also, like, how could you compare? Like, we could go to Mexico for food if we wanted to.
So you're saying they're better?
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to hear?
Yeah. I just think beans and rice just don't belong in the burrito.
Yeah.
I also think, like, you know...
because, like, the mission style is just, like, packet full of, like, loose rice and beans and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like, lettuce.
Yeah, I mean, like, why does that need to be there? Also, they don't cook the tortilla. They don't wrap it in a way where you can hold it, like, and walk around. They wrap it in, like, double tinfoil layer. So you gotta, like, it's like an ice cream cone. You gotta, like, unwrap it.
I need to, like,
as
cut
you
out
eat
just
it.
That's BS.
I need to, like, just cut this portion of the podcast out because so I work in biotech. So, like, half the people I work with are from the Bay, and they're always, like, singing the praises of the mission-style burrito.
No,
I just need to cut this part out.
I mean,
and, like,
I
give
gotta
it to
say,
them.
when I moved there, I was super pissed off because I couldn't adjust to it, but then I eventually started liking it. So I do like it. I think it's good.
Like,
But
the way you say
I
couldn't
treat it-
adjust to it, like, I felt the anxiety in your voice.
But
It's like you moved from Hawaii to Alaska and couldn't adjust.
No,
Like,
no,
That's what you went through.
It's really like it was like that to me, and I feel like the burrito I treated it as its own type of food.
Right.
I didn't try to be like, this was my new burrito. I just was like, oh, this is like its own thing.
Right.
And
Right.
it was
That's
still
fair.
it was still good. But then they don't make it for you either, like on the spot. It's still it's like Panda Express, like
What?
so like Chipotle.
Wait, the burritos are pre-made?
They're not pre-made. It's just like, what meat do you want? And the meat's all made and stuff. Where like,
okay.
you know, if you go anywhere here, like you'll never find anything cooked already.
Right.
Which to me makes a huge difference because you're getting it made.
Like you
right
order
then and
carne
there.
asada and they throw the raw meat on the flat
Like
top.
all they really do on the spot is like put the cheese in and like kind of melt it a little bit.
Right.
And then
My heart's breaking.
yeah,
right
it
now.
sucks. But I found a Home Depot in Colma that has like, which is
What?
like, Colma is a city.
Where is this conversation going?
Hold
now?
on, Colma is a city right
Not
outside of
Colma,
San Francisco.
Colma.
Right, but
Colma.
I'm still lost on the Home Depot thing. What's
Okay, Home
happened?
Depot has like a taco truck
Hold on,
outside.
hold on, Nick,
okay,
hold on.
okay.
Home Depot is a hardware store.
I know what Home Depot is. That's why I'm confused.
There's a taco truck outside called Kelly's Deli, and this woman makes legit burritos there.
Nice.
And I like SoCal style, and I was so excited when I found that out
Well,
because I go to Home Depot every day. So I was
SoCal
like,
style is
perfect.
really just like Mexican people actually make this.
Yeah. No, but Mexican people make the mission style burritos too. It's just weird they like it that way.
Yeah, but they're making them for San Francisco people, which are
I don't even know if that's true. I feel like we could track like the lineage down because I listened to another podcast. How I
don't
built,
ruin my
I'm gonna
bigotry
ruin
against San
this
Francisco
podcast
burritos.
by hyping up another one.
Oh, dang.
How I Built This by NPR. I was listening
Hey,
to
if
the
we're
Chipotle.
getting burned by NPR, I'll take it.
I was listening to the Chipotle guy like talking about how he made Chipotle, and he's like, I basically went to San Francisco and I just copied the taqueria there, and I was
Yeah.
like, really, like, that's awful.
Yeah, that's really terrible.
I was
dude.
like, that's really like not a nice
You
thing that
should-
you did.
I mean, I'm
you
sure.
shouldn't tell people this story.
Yeah, right. I'm sure too that with that there's a regionality where like in San Diego
Sure.
we just get the Baja crossover, but I would guess in the Bay they're probably getting it from like a different region of Mexico because we sometimes forget that Mexico's kind of a huge country with a massive population.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
huge.
and different food styles across the entire country.
Well, even like we're talking about all this stuff, and at the end of the day, it's like my girlfriend's Mexican, and like they don't even really like they eat like plates and stuff, you know, like all these like other things. We're like not even like we don't even know about all these dishes that they're eating. Like we're talking about just burritos. They're like, we don't even eat burritos.
Yeah, they
like,
don't eat burritos in Mexico.
or maybe I mean I'm sure that whatever.
They
Everyone
eat
likes
they
it.
eat the stuff that's inside of them. They just have them with other dishes. You know, they have them in tacos. And
Burritos
stuff.
should just sponsor this.
Yeah, the Burrito Council of
Yeah.
America.
Is that a thing?
No, it should be though.
All right.
Also,
Oh.
we're like all super white guy. We're like, we love California burritos. Like, not even real Mexican
I
food.
know,
That's
right?
not even real Mexican
And
food
on-
in
and
the
on
Bay.
top
We
of
like
it-
California
on
burritos.
top of
Like,
it-
wait, what is that? You guys, that's not Mexican
Oh,
food.
you know,
That's just
real
a baked potato.
Hold on,
real
hold on.
Mexican food. Burritos with French fries in it.
You two with your friggin' like not even California burrito orders. Ryan with this. I want a California burrito, no guacamole.
I said no, sour
cream.
I said no sour
and
cream.
then Nick over here, I want a California sour cream, no guacamole, no pico de gallo. I'm like, am I ordering Cali's for the two whitest people in San Diego?
When you put pico de gallo in a burrito, everyone knows that it has a little bit of a cold spot inside
That's
the
true,
burrito.
that's true.
And
But
it
why
gets
no
it like
guac?
a little bit too juicy at the bottom.
You just
I'm not
do
trying
you
to
just
that.
not like guac?
No, that's smart.
I'm just not big on it as much as everyone else. I think sour cream is my thing.
All right.
Crema.
I am repulsed by sour cream.
Really?
I can handle guac, but I'm not in love with it.
I can put sour cream on everything. You know what San Diego lacks, actually, that San Francisco has a lot of? And I know that there probably is one here.
Bridges.
Sourdough.
Salvadorian food.
Oh,
Pupusas.
Oh.
Pupusas.
I've had pupusas, but I
Pupusas
don't.
are good.
But not recently enough to remember.
But there's
exactly
like
what they
more.
are.
Like you get two
Yeah.
pupusas, that coleslaw stuff that you pour on it with the hot sauce, and then you get like plantains,
Is
rice,
this
and
going to
beans.
be this whole
You just mix it
episode?
up.
Is us talking about Mexican food?
I mean, I didn't come here to talk about guitars. To be honest with you.
we talk about guitars all
You
the
said
time.
I'm getting you a burrito. What do you want? And I was like, oh, sick. Is that what we're doing?
Let's
mean-
tackle our first ad here, and then we'll get into just talking all about you, Nick, and all your deal, all your stuff.
Okay.
Just it'll be the Nick Nick Hour. Just talk about Nick the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, this is guitar banjo stand. Outrageous.
I found this.
Yeah.
I actually did some Craigslisting in the last week or so and found some things.
Did you see my guitar that's on Craigslist right now?
You put a guitar on Craigslist?
I should have put that on my What's New, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do it next episode.
Yeah.
This is guitar banjo stand outrageous. One-of-a-kind guitar stand handmade by Foggy Mountain Forge in British Columbia. This unique piece of art would be superb for an electric guitar.
PRS Dragon.
Amazing detail. Check out the snake at the dragon's tail.
the rebar like vertical beam that they welded in.
Yeah, the snake at the dragon's tail, that looks like dumb.
It looks terrible. This whole thing to me looks terrible in a really bad way. It looks like the kind of like. I'm going to paint a picture of the type of person.
It looks better with the guitar than banjo.
That's true, but it still doesn't look great. Like the type of this would go in the house of someone who's like an aunt in her mid-50s, doesn't really have a good sense of style.
I kind of like it.
Kind of like was gothic in her teens.
I kind of like it.
You like this?
I mean, for $5.50, that's kind of a steal.
You think it's a steal for $5.50? It's made out of steel.
The wings and everything, the copper wings.
I hate that the wings are copper. They look like seaweed.
A lot of work went into this.
They look like kelp. The head.
This might be a one of a kind piece, though.
No, this is definitely one of a kind.
Yeah.
There's only got to be one of these. No one does this twice.
I think every Prisma guitar will come with this.
Oh my gosh! Now you're gonna build a guitar in tribute to this.
I don't even feel like I can roast this at this point. I feel like you guys.
I feel like the most
guys are on your own tangent here.
Most of the work went into the face of the dragon. Because it's like a three-dimensional thing with nostrils and a bunch of teeth and a tongue.
That's
and
cast.
Eye sockets and like ears and these horns. And then the rest of the body is just a bent piece of rebar.
You know who this is for?
And then it's got legs and feet.
You know who this is for?
Who is this for?
Harry Hamlin.
Who's Harry Hamlin?
He played the dude with the shield, Perseus, in the original Clash of the Titans.
Oh.
Because that's what this looks like, is an animatronic from freaking Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah, totally does.
In 1981.
Or it kind of looks like one of those creatures from, like, Nightmare Before Christmas or something.
Yeah, with, like, the skinny arms.
Mm-hmm.
This definitely does look better with the guitar.
This would definitely be worth more if it was commissioned by Tim Burton.
Yeah, honestly, like, this person should just take the guitar part off and just sell the sculpture. Actually,
I would be for that.
No.
I would be for that. Like making a weird garden sculpture. I still really.
Would you put this in your front yard, Ryan? If it was just a garden sculpture?
No way. If the wings were black, I would like this more.
Honestly, I don't know who else gonna buy this, but it just like belongs in like a really specific castle home.
You definitely have to have a castle themed home. Yeah. You have to have tapestries. And like stacked blocks of stone, and like a place for archers to hang out and shoot arrows from.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it also is huge. This looks huge, right? Like, look how far off the ground the guitar is. You have to go look at the picture links in the episode description right now to see this thing. The guitar looks like it's easily like 2 feet off the ground, and then the dragon extends another 2 feet above it. Or maybe 1.5 feet above it or something like that. It just takes up a ton of space.
Or like if someone loves Game of Thrones, maybe this is the stand.
Yeah, this is... I don't know any Games of Thrones, like, inside jokes, so
Neither do I.
I've got nothing.
All you need to know...
I just know that people like it a lot.
I know people say winter is coming, but there's like no winter joke here with this guitar stand.
All you really need to know about Game of Thrones is that show is all about incest.
Okay, that doesn't help this ad either.
It doesn't. It doesn't help.
Ooh, things just got a little weird.
Just saying. Just keeping it.
But like a normal guitar stand, the guitar is sitting almost on the ground. And then the top of the guitar stand ends somewhere mid-neck on the guitar. Like this thing has the guitar way up off the ground, and then the head of the dragon is way above the headstock of the guitar. I feel like it's just way too much to have in a house. You might as well have a wall hanger at this point. It's taking up too much space is what I'm saying. It's ugly and it takes up too much space. and it's too expensive.
I don't think anyone cares that it takes up too much space. If they buy that, they're like, I want it to be bigger and better.
They probably do want it to be bigger.
Who made this? Can I have another?
They're mad. They're mad that the dragon isn't like big enough for them to sit on.
Yeah. Oh, no. It could be even more elaborate. Like, what if the stand was the dragon that held the guitar, but its tail like wrapped around and turned into like a seat that you sat on to play the guitar?
Gosh.
I feel like
and then
that
like
would
on
make
the other
more
side,
sense.
and then on the other side, there's like the arms of the dragon hold your amplifier for you.
Yeah, like something like a whole kit, and you're like, wow,
whole
this
kit?
this is all I need for my jam space is like this one piece, and like, yes, I'll pay like
It holds everything.
$3,500.
And then like the tail like loops around, and you build your pedal board on it.
Yeah, like something, just like to keep it going.
And then there's outlets a few different places on the back of the dragon to plug into.
yeah, and there's like a sinusoid cable running through the cast metal.
Oh my god!
So literally nothing ever has to be adjusted.
You just walk in the room. There's a giant metal dragon. It's holding your guitar and your amp and your pedals.
You don't
and you're just
even-
ready to go.
Actually, it's holding it sideways too, so you don't even have to have like a strap or anything.
Yeah, you just walk up
You just walk up
behind
to
it.
it and play it, and then walk away.
It's like holding the guitar sideways, so you have to like duck in between its arms, and it's like the dragon is holding you and the guitar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's like snuggling you. That's the ultimate dream here: to get snuggled by a dragon while you play guitar.
Well,
Do we have
we need
anything
to
else?
find this artist because we have some serious
If this
ideas
was-
to throw at him.
If this was $550, this contraption we've just come up with is going to cost like $10,000.
It's more than the guitar.
I think
What
that's the
guitar's even
biggest
on this?
problem with
Looks
this
like a
ad.
cheap Yamaha. That's got to be like a $200 guitar, right? I'm throwing shade at Yamaha right now.
I mean, maybe
So-
maybe 250. I don't know.
I mean, it's no gold wing, right?
No, it's not.
Copper wing.
It's a copper wing. The dragon has copper wings. Did we ever figure out if it's Yamaha or Honda that makes a gold wing? I'm pretty
No.
sure it's
Maybe the guy's trying
Honda.
to like show that any
he-
guitar looks even better
Held
in
by
this
a-
stand.
held by a dragon.
Yeah.
He did have a banjo in there. Do you think banjo players
That
is
just
a
seems
market
like
for this?
No, that's
Oh,
what I
it
was
is
saying.
Honda.
That's why I think it's just a lot of
I knew it was Honda. My dad owned a gold wing. I knew it was Honda. Dad's owned gold wings. That's a fact.
I feel like what really should be happening is there should be like some super heavy metal guitar being held by a dragon.
It should have
Like,
a,
no banjo guy's gonna want this.
Sponsored by
or maybe
Gore.
they would because like folk art or something.
it's folk art people aren't into dragons like this.
That's
This
what
is
I
like
figured.
very goth and scary looking.
Is that scary to you?
I'm afraid. You're not afraid of that
Are you
dragon?
gonna have a nightmare tonight?
If that dragon was alive, you wouldn't be afraid of it, Steve. You'd be afraid of that dragon.
It's kind of skinny. I think I could fight it.
Snakes are skinny.
I think I could fight a snake.
Well, joke's on you because I have a snake right here.
Whoa! Oh my gosh! It's fighting Steve. Steve is Steve is fighting the snake. And Steve is losing. The snake is beating Steve.
So I'm the new host of the show.
Steve has been replaced by Nick, who just murdered Steve with a snake.
That joke's on you right now.
All right, let's talk about you, Nick. We've done this ad to death, I think.
I could go on.
I don't know if I've introduced Nick yet. This is Nick from Prisma Guitars. Go look up Prisma Guitars. They're very famous on the Discovery Channel right now.
Yeah, we did the How It's Made show.
That's beautiful.
So everyone can watch it and copy us.
When you did the show, did they preface it with "We'd like to do some stuff on your brand after we release this? You'll never be able to keep up with demand."
I mean, what do you mean? Like, did they say a lot of people were going to see it?
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, they were like, we're on 12 different countries, 100 million people, or like whatever.
Damn.
They said 100 million people viewership. And I actually said, they asked me to do this show like 3 other times or 2 other times. And I said no all the times.
Oh my gosh.
Because I was like, I don't want to tell people how I do this. But now I feel like my brand is like at a point where it was okay to like release these secrets.
Yeah, if anyone
And
does,
it's not even a secret. If you
Right.
know how to woodwork at all, like you could figure it out. But like,
Well,
I
I
think,
But
don't,
it's-
so I'm going to
it's-
watch this episode and I'm going to
Well, that's
steal
a-
your brand.
it's established that like you're the guy who does it this way. Like there's been other companies that make guitars out of skateboard wood, but it's always like, oh, they strapped a neck to a
Right.
piece of a skateboard body and they might have like reinforced it with something else. Like you're like repurposing skateboard wood and then making like legit guitars out of it.
right. Well, my goal was never to like make like a skateboard guitar. I know that people might think it's like my whole thing to be like as core.
Sure.
I don't know, whatever niche product thing. I mean, really, I started this company accidentally because I just wanted to do this for myself. So when I turned 18, I was like, you know what? You have nothing better to do when you're 18. I'm going to just give this a shot because I've seriously no job and so much time and I have tools and things. So I just like went for it and I made a Telecaster out of skateboards, and it wasn't out of regular whatever skateboards. It was out of skateboards that I rode and my brother rode and my friends rode and stuff that we just had at the house. And to me, I was like, this is cool. Like, this is like a cool story, but I don't like the like kitschiness of like that, of like
Sure.
skateboard guitar or whatever. So my whole thing was like, it can't look at all like a skateboard,
Right.
you know?
Right.
Like I have to go as far away from that as possible. Like I just need to use the wood for the visual impact. Like,
But
which
that's
is
the reason
which
why-
is the like
Yeah.
the colors that come
Yeah.
with it.
That's
you
the
know?
reason why it works though, is because it's not like skateboard. It's like, what is this like beautiful like colorful explosion I'm looking at? And then you find out like this is wood that came from skateboards, because skateboards are made out of layers of
Yeah.
like dyed wood.
Yeah.
And it's maple in skateboards, right?
Yeah, it's hard rock maple.
So it has like this beautiful like kind of like glistening quality to it when it's
Yeah,
cut.
some of it's like completely like flamed out, and
Yeah.
like you can tell like I know the companies now that like use better glue, and I know the companies now that use better ply material, like when they press the boards, and like what companies have certain colors and what companies have other colors, so I've learned a lot about the construction of a skateboard and what it does to, or like its tendencies, like when you're like using it as a material. But like the main thing was like, okay, we're not like, we're creating a material first, then we're going to make a guitar, like
Right.
we're not making a guitar out of skateboards. Like we're creating a material block and then we're going to make a guitar. So that's really, that first part of that is like the part that was the challenge I had to figure out. And, ultimately now we can do like all these different things where, you've seen it where we cut it one way and it's like striped, and we cut it another way and it's tie-dye colored, and we cut
Yeah.
it another way and it's, I can like legitimately cut the boards, into slices, glue it up again, and then cut it at an angle, like, and alternate when I glue it up, like alternate the patterns. Like you can do so much shit. Like I haven't even touched the surface of like patterns that can be created.
Yeah, there's some.
Yeah,
there's
like
some
I really
patterning.
haven't. Like I already know what I want to do. It's just like I haven't had the time to like sit there and glue up these blocks. But you can create like, I've done like a couple test samples. When like you like shoot like a heat gun at something and it's all like crazy. Imagine like that heat gun like look or not a heat gun. Sorry, binoculars, like thermal binoculars.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
I
I'm
get what you're
really
saying
bad
now.
at this.
I get what you're saying now. Like infrared or something like that.
Infrared,
Yeah,
yes, that's what it's called. Infrared.
Like predator vision.
Yeah, that stuff. Imagine that, but like really glitchy looking.
Yeah.
Like I could create that basically if I wanted to. And I've done samples for it. It's just like to create enough to do for an entire top, which actually isn't like that much material. It's just more like a huge process. And
This is mine. Steve is pouring his beer.
we'll get there. But like that's the stuff to like watch out for. And like nowadays, like with the companies out, it's like I'm totally kind of pushing for these other models. Like we have that Sunset Series one, which I brought a couple here.
Yeah, we were looking at those. They're really fantastic. It's honestly like I just love that shape and how you've handled it. Like the backwards like offset sort of thing is really cool.
Yeah, thanks, man. I mean, I basically like the Sunset Series is like my baby of like, you know, I just drew this shape out. My goal was to like kind of show people like, because I did the thing where I used boards for everything, right?
Right.
And I'm like, there's boards here and boards here. We made the neck out of boards. We did the inlay with boards. We did the knobs with boards. Like everything is like, wow, look at all that. And it's crazy. And like that stuff's super cool. And like there's a customer for that. And like I love making it, you know? But I also think like there is a guy who just wants like to be a part of the brand who like maybe doesn't want to be like that loud visually on stage or something. Like he wants just like a more traditional looking guitar, like something like paying homage. Like we made, like I made to like pay homage to like Fender and these companies.
Yeah.
You know?
There've definitely been like I think we first saw your stuff maybe 2 or 3 years. It was probably just me.
I think it was when you went to Kaiburr.
Like the first time I went to Kaiburr 3 years ago, I think was when we met, and that was the first time I tried a Prisma guitar. Fantastic. And I started trying to hype it up, and there were definitely people right off the bat like, this was when you were doing all of the
tie-dye look,
kind of like tie-dye looking stuff where it's like flat, and it's just, you know, you sandwich everything vertically, basically, like in a vertical orientation, and then you'd have kind of like the bursting, right?
Yeah.
And there were people who were like, oh, I don't know, like it's just kind of like it's so bright. And I'm like, but it plays fantastic. Who cares? And so there definitely is like a market for like, I guess, traditionalists, like you would say, who I mean, it's a fantastically well built guitar, but not everybody can do like the color changes and everything. That being said, gearing up for this, I showed some of your guitars to some of my coworkers today who aren't guitar players.
Right.
And they're just like mind blown at like just the different color patterns and everything. And I showed them some of the ones that were the I guess I would say like the horizontal orientation where it's just all the ply going across the body.
I'd call it like quarter sawn.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah. And so, you know, I showed that to some of my coworkers, and I mean, I think to people who understand who maybe don't understand aesthetics, but appreciate something that looks good and that takes effort, like it makes perfect sense to them that these are like high-end guitars. The problem is with the guitar players, like we're so traditional and we're so like fixated on like we want to look a certain way and to be oriented with a certain type of music style or a certain type of playing,
right?
In the live.
No, sure.
You know,
I think that was the biggest thing. I'm sitting here like you know, I was like 20 years old or something, like thinking about starting a company, like, and I mean, I don't know what I'm about to deal with, but then I started realizing like that people didn't like for things to be different. Like everyone was so used, like everything in guitar world is like trying more and more to be old. You know?
Right.
Nobody's trying like to do new stuff, and if they are, they're going like way too far with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm not trying to really do anything like crazy. And when you do think about like the way my stuff was even constructed, and people had their like ways of complaining, and I was just like, well, look at this. Like, yeah, the skateboard neck that we make where it's like that vertical, that quarter sawn pressed board material, and then we like laminate, or then like, you know, then there's a truss rod, and then we put the fingerboard and everything, and the way it's all glued together and like built, it's like so sturdy and so strong. And people argue with me like that there's no way it could sound good, and then I'm like, well, play it, and then it does sound good. Or if they can't play it, I'll just be like, well, you know, this is hard rock maple. Yeah. What's your guitar's neck made out of right now? It is hard rock maple. Same thing. And then because that's what skateboards are. And then when you when people argue about the construction, I'm like, well, Martin's been making laminated necks, like with, you've seen those necks on the Martin guitar where it's like a million layers, like glued up. It's like, that's the same thing.
Yeah, totally.
It's the same thing. And like, that's one of the companies that I know respect because you're like
some old timer.
So and I had to sit here and figure out how to like argue with all these people, and like it's not like I was lying. I was just how do I find my points to like validate myself?
Right.
I think the argument is over the moment someone picks up one of your guitars. It was like Steve was telling, because he met you first and he got to play your guitars first, and he's like, "Yeah, it's really cool. It's made out of skateboard wood." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, we'll see." Like the first time I picked one up, I was like, this isn't a gimmick, and this isn't, just a look. Like, you're making guitars that are, they're completely worth their value as built guitars before you even consider like all the extra work you go to make the material that you work with. Like, it's not just style; it's substance. You're making like really good guitars.
Yeah, and that's a crazy thing that like a lot of people don't realize, and it goes back to that like creating a material thing. It's like skateboards, sure, I get them donated for free, but it's like not a material yet. I still have to sit there. It takes me like 3 or 4 days to produce the blank.
Yeah. The blank.
I haven't even started.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about?
Wait. Let me finish. I used to skate when I was young and spry and would heel after
I tried once, almost died.
And I've changed grip tape on skateboards and pulled the old grip tape off and put the new grip tape down. Yeah. That's a pain in the butt. And I've seen the videos of you just like, we just pull the tape off of all these decks, and then we have to get them all cleaned up and press them all together. Like, it's got to take a ton of skateboards to make a guitar.
It actually depends. I mean, like, I can do it as few as 4,
but still, like,
that's just for a top.
Just for the top.
Yeah.
It's like pulling all that tape, doing all the prep to make them clean enough to work with. Like, it's a major undertaking.
No, it's pretty awful. I mean, like, I keep doing it for the end result, Right. But that beginning process, like, I'll never. Like, I've learned to pull grip tape. I've actually like learned to like it.
Is it like a satisfying thing, like popping?
It's not satisfying.
It's
just like it's not satisfying. It's just like kind of meditating. I just do it outside and I play music, and it's like not a crazy thing. There's no tool noises,
sure.
Because like I sit in a shop all day. It's like loud, and then like that's like the one thing that I do where it's like super quiet. Mm-hmm. Besides, even sanding is like loud,
right?
Like even if you're doing it by hand, it's like you're like like it's quiet kind of, but like there's this repetitive noise going on where like I can legitimately just sit in like outside and hear nothing like except the outside world while I pull this, and like that's okay. Like I've learned to like that. It's like doing all the other prep, like taking the paint off and like like that is the worst thing. You're literally making like all this. There's like all this chemicals and dust.
I actually never thought about that.
Yeah,
that like so on the top of a deck you've got
the graphics.
You've got the grip tape, or I guess like on like the surface, like the writing surface, you've got grip tape. But on the bottom side, you've got the graphics.
Well, and then there's also the adhesive that gets left over from the grip tape.
Yeah.
So there's like so much stuff to deal with before you even get to like press it. And then you press it, and even that's kind of annoying.
Why did you come up with this stupid thing that you're doing to yourself? Just build regular guitars.
Well, we're doing both now. So that's the next thing. I mean, we're talking about like what's going on with me. It's like that's kind of what I'm doing right now too. It's like because look, I'm always gonna make like skateboard guitars because like this is how I started and it's cool and I like it, and people know about me through that,
right?
And like I think that it's all part of the branding and stuff, and but that being said, like I'm moving away from shapes that are like similar to other companies. I'm trying really hard, like as a designer, to create my own shapes.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a few that I feel really good about, and I feel like those are ones I'm going to offer like without the option of having the skateboards, because I've built now I think just a handful but I just like people have been asking for them without the boards. Like people put in orders without the boards of certain shapes. Like we have our Matsonia shape that we released at NAMM that we made. It's kind of like a crossbreed between like an SG Telecaster and Jaguar. Right. So it's like all that stuff combined.
Yeah.
And people will go for it. They really do. Like, and like, you know, we, so much so that we like have, like they're going to put it on a cover of Premier guitar. And but I think it's part of like the NAMM thing.
Sure.
But still really cool. And then
people seem to be open to new shapes right now in this part of,
well, because how many Telecasters, Stratocasters do we need in the world?
But I feel like people like our age and our scene are like, there's a mentality of like, if I can get a shape that's different, but I still like it, then it's like kind of like having my own like custom model sort of thing, where like that's my guitar,
right?
You know, that's
well,
my
that's
way.
how I feel.
Is the Matsonia, is that the one that you had at NAMM that was like, it's not butterscotch and it's not TV yellow, it's kind of in between?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
and I made
was
that
beautiful.
Yeah, and I made that without boards to show to show like how we can do it if we just wanted to do a traditional thing.
Mm-hmm.
And like so many people were like stunned by that guitar.
Yeah,
you know?
I was one of them.
Everyone was picking that one up. And I'm like, okay, well, like, see, like, my plan worked, you know? Like, and it's like, the goal was basically like, all right, we're trying to create a unique shape. That doesn't mean let's go crazy with the pencil here, but, like, that means let's take elements from things that everyone likes, and let's create something unique that is somewhat familiar. And what I ended up with was a thing that I almost had to double check and be like, did I just like copy something?
Right.
And I was like, wait, no, I didn't. And I checked again, and I was like, no, this is my own shape. You know, like that's crazy.
It definitely has that vibe, because I remember
it looks like you've seen it forever.
Yeah,
you know, like I feel like that's the ultimate. Like, damn, like this is just like kind of what we all wanted.
Yeah. You know? It looks 50 years old.
Yeah,
but then you're like, wait, Prisma was a brand 50 years ago? Like, what's going on?
So that was the thing. And I feel super happy like that, you know, that's the way everything's going, because now I can kind of, you know, have the skateboard ones and have this, and Prisma can just be a brand, like a guitar brand, because like we're showing you like we're guitar makers. Or I guess it's just me. But like, you know, I'm a guitar maker. I keep saying we as a company. I'm like, yes, like but I do like everything, you know?
Right.
I did all the branding. Like I took all the photos almost, you know? Like just recently I started having buddies like shoot photos and things, but like I was doing everything. Like, yeah, so this is like the way I feel like everything needs to go. And makes me feel good. So there you go.
There it is.
Yeah.
Should we jump into the next ad?
Let's do it.
We're not going to have, I don't think we're going to have time to do the last ad.
That's all right.
We might not even have time to do the next topic.
Yeah, we'll see where we get.
Dude, this could go on forever if you wanted.
We didn't even talk about
your... Do you have limits?
We didn't even talk about your horribly mangled hand.
Oh, yeah. I cut my fingers off, everyone listening.
How long are you going to be here tonight?
Yeah,
however long you want.
We usually record a second episode.
Cool.
So
next episode, we'll talk about we'll just have a whole segment talking about your horribly mangled hand.
And we'll put up pictures of everything. You know, like,
my
it'd be awesome.
I purposely didn't take any photos of that.
God
closed my
you.
eyes the entire time.
I was like...
I gave it one look. I looked at my hand, saw it was bleeding, saw there was... You know, my finger was not completely cut off.
You've already said too much.
It was
bad.
It was
like,
bad.
You explained to me your injuries at NAMM, and I was like wincing, like I don't want to know too much, even though I asked.
I just remember flipping my hand over, like from looking at the top of my hand to looking at the bottom of my hand, and when I did that, my finger just fell off.
Oh no!
I was like,
oh gosh. All right, let's talk about this.
Tune in next episode to hear more about Nick's finger.
No one's gonna listen.
Just for everyone listening, that just shows you I'm like seriously the most hardcore builder.
This is
You didn't cut your fingers off to make guitars. You just cut them off by accident, right? Like it's not like you like suffering for your art. Like I'm gonna cut my fingers off so I can make better guitars.
It works. It worked for Van Gogh.
Oh man,
I'm trying to move us forward. Somebody work with me.
There was just too much blood, man, to move forward.
This next ad was sent by Lucas Rivers. It's a Volkswagen Garage Master. This was, I don't know, there's a bunch of words here that I don't care about. Basically, here's what you need to know. A few years ago,
By you mean like a decade?
was it that
It
long?
was a long time ago, dude.
First Act Guitars and Volkswagen teamed up to do a bunch of commercials with John Mayer plugging this guitar into a Volkswagen Beetle. And maybe some other people, I don't know.
I know Slash did one.
The only thing out of this ad that's worth anything is it says the guitar has a built-in distortion box. Why don't all rock guitars have this?
Because that's dumb.
Also,
Unless it's cool.
yeah,
Sometimes it's cool.
Yeah, I know a couple companies that do that. Hit me up if you want to know.
Steve has a secret.
Yeah, basically, I don't know. I don't want to talk about this, but what I do want to talk about is, if you could have a guitar that was,
Dude, the gang sign thing.
The
Right.
Trust Rod cover is two hands doing a VW gang sign.
Okay,
Whoa, look at the knobs. Those are sick.
Yeah, the knobs are cool. I feel like it's worth getting this guitar just to harvest those knobs
Yeah.
and put them on a cooler guitar.
Random aside, did you ever figure out what that microphone brand was?
No.
Okay.
We won't talk about that.
Yeah.
But
The real question here is if you could have a guitar that was designed to look like a car
or to go with a car.
or like a car brand, what would it be?
Benz.
Benz. Really?
But, like, the part of
what
this-
would that guitar look like?
So part of the story with this is that these guitars came with like new Beetles or Jettas or something like that. So
No,
would you?
yeah, I think it
would
was
you
just
want?
Came with a car?
Yeah,
yeah,
this
so
came
if
with
you,
a car.
I think
Are you
around
kidding
like
me?
and like the stereo
Hey,
system.
wait, what?
The stereo
I'm
system,
down.
the stereo system of the car that came with had a 1/4-inch jack,
What?
and
Yeah,
you would
so-
plug the guitar.
so this
into
was
it.
maybe like 2005.
Where are
so-
those cars?
No, so this was
They're
like
in pawn shops, hanging up next to Dean's and stuff like that.
oh my gosh. So like
No, I'm just
around
saying.
I don't know,
I don't know where those cars are.
2005, 2006 somewhere in there, Volkswagen was selling the new Beetle with these guitars because the whole thing was that their radio in the car had an aux jack.
I already said that.
Yeah, but you said it wrong.
Oh, okay.
So you would get the
aux
guitar.
jack.
You get the guitar. You would get a 1/4-inch to 1/8-inch cable or whatever
Oh,
to
I
plug
understand.
into the radio, and then you could play the guitar out of your car. That was the whole gimmick.
I understand. Okay, well,
It was just a marketing thing. So, like, what I'm getting at
I
is,
love it.
if you had a Benz themed guitar, would you buy a Benz to get it with it? Like, do you have a matching car guitar?
And like, who
situation?
would be the manufacturer for this Benz guitar?
Oh, that's a good question.
You know those
Would
like
it be
old
you?
diesel Benz?
Yeah,
Or
the 300s?
Benz guitars. I'm like pretending it's real.
From the 80s?
I don't
Those
know
ones
anything.
that are like really boxy.
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like low to the ground.
Yeah, it's like the 300, the 300D.
Yeah, those are sick. Like a guitar based off of those cars would be really cool.
What would that
And
guitar
my friend
be?
has a mustard yellow one, and like it's like
damn.
it has a brown hood. It's like a mustard yellow car, but then it has like a brown hood.
I'm
'Cause
laughing, but I would
he
drive
salvaged
this.
the hood off of another car, and it's like that would be like the torque guard on the yellow
Nice.
guitar. And then like the
dang.
little Mercedes symbol, maybe this is a stretch, but like maybe you could like make the pickup route round and then put the Mercedes symbol in there, and like you could have Tim McNally like wind like some crazy
Oh, you're just gonna have Tim do it, huh?
yeah, have some crazy like
Hey Tim, how's it going? And he'd just be like, sorry.
I'm gonna send you
It's
some. I'm gonna send you something in the mail. Turn it into a pickup. He opens up a box and it's just the hood
Mercedes
ornament from
emblems.
a Mercedes.
Dude, I feel like I do that to him like without realizing it like, all the time. I'm just like, dude, so I have this idea.
the problem
He's
with
like, I don't do that.
the-
But he always does it for me. I think I won this business deal.
the problem with Canadians is they're just like, sorry, I can't do that right away.
Is he Canadian?
It'll be
Yeah.
6 weeks.
I never realized.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Canadian.
yeah, dude. We've talked to him like over and over again about customs and shipping prices between the United States and Canada.
Jeez,
I'm a roast Tim's fit right now. when I went to NAMM last year, I met him in person for the first time. It was like really weird.
You shared a booth with him.
Yeah, we did. But I never met him in real life. Like I talked to him for years, like on email and stuff.
Right.
I bought stuff from him for years, but I never and I knew what he looked like from like a couple photos, but like it's not like I like lurked his personal life or anything.
Right.
So then like when he showed up, he was in like a red sweater with like this kind of like what are those hats called that are like
the Bulwark or like the Kangol, like the little like the newsy hat.
Yeah, like those. I think that's what.
Yeah. Where it like buttons down in the front.
Yeah, he had like one of those, and then I was like, didn't think anything of it. Next,
How did you figure out what hat he was talking about?
I just know hats, dude.
Next day,
Why do you think I was like grunging after that freaking snapback trucker hat for so long?
You love hats, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, sorry to interrupt.
it's all good. The story sucks. Next day, he comes back to the show. He's wearing the same thing. Next day, he comes back to the show. He's wearing the same thing. And
Like
then,
top to bottom, same thing.
yeah, like top to bottom, same thing. And he like kind of always was in the same like even mental state and everything. And even when I read his emails now, like I just think of him in that outfit. And like also he randomly like posts a photo where he's like holding the pickup and the pickup's in focus, but he's like out of focus in the back. And all I see is the blurred out color red and then like the gray hat. And I'm like, dude, you like never take that off.
No, here's the thing.
You're like a cartoon character.
Here's the thing. He changed clothes every day, but he's got multiple sets of all the same clothes. I like to think
that. I thought about that.
He's like Batman, you know?
I hope he's listening.
He's got a closet full of just the same suit, like the same outfit.
It's so crazy. I was like, damn, like I might be wrong here, but like, is this all you have? Like, did you like fly here with like one thing? And, like you're like, oh, checking a bag was like too much.
Well, when you're packing stuff to NAMM, whatever space you can spare.
Oh
yeah, true.
So, Steve, what would your car guitar combo be?
I don't know, man. I am a Fender Telecaster guy at my core, like that body and everything.
What car goes with that?
Ford Bronco, the 1970s big Bronco.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm going to go
So
with.
did you get one to match their Steve's signature?
You know, I want to do the Steve signature is red with white trim, but I'm thinking if we want to stick with the Ford Bronco thing, it's got to be like brown body with all cream plastics.
Okay. So would you get a guitar that's brown and cream then?
I don't know if I personally would, but
You know what else is a cool guitar or cool car?
What?
Car guitar. A cool car is those Land Cruisers.
yeah.
That's the one that's not existent anymore, right?
It's now like the Toyota FJ.
But it like the old Land Cruisers are like really cool and they're like super desirable.
Yeah.
Those are super cool.
It's weird because there's like Land Cruiser. So there's a Toyota Land Cruiser and then it became like the FJ Land Cruiser. Now Toyota just produces it as the Toyota FJ. I don't know if they still make it. But those
what does that
dope.
one look like?
It's just like a big ass SUV.
No, it kind of looks like I know that this is like a really bad way to explain it because it's not accurate. But like to me, it reminds me of like I went to Australia and like all the cars kind of looked like that.
Right.
It looks like something like you can just like drive on any terrain.
Right.
And like it might have like a scuba muffle like
The old Land Cruiser is like is boxy. Like the 70s Land Cruiser is more boxy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the old one.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a different version of a Land Rover.
Yeah, or it looks like in between the Land Rover and like a G-Wagon.
Oh, that one's crazy looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's neat. Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that.
I just like the boxy cars.
Yeah.
What car would you pick, Ryan?
Oh, thank you for asking, Steve. Finally. To do like a hard edit because we had like 20 minutes of silence of just like waiting for you to ask that.
Shut up.
All right, so I paused it for a sec. Complete transparency here, but anyways, we were
20 minutes.
We were talking about
burritos and pause.
we're talking about because I think I would want my first car that I had when I was a teenager into my 20s.
That blue thing?
I want a Dodge Caravan, a 1991 Dodge Caravan. And what Nick and I decided is that we would pair it with like a Vox Phantom style guitar. But I'm trying to think of like what the styling would be. It would definitely be like have like this rust thing going on where like it's got like a light blue, baby blue paint that's like flaking off in a bad way, like not in a cool looking way. So somehow has rust underneath it, or like just dirty looking wood. But then like it's gotta be really. Oh, and the pickguard should. This isn't what my minivan looked like, but this would be the perfect pairing. Is if the pickguard was like that awful worn out wood panel.
I was gonna say the
fake wood paneling.
Did your minivan have wood panel?
No, it didn't. But like you know what I'm talking about, like the old like Dodge Caravan wood paneling that's fake, and
my parents had that car.
It sun fades and like wears off in a really bad looking way. That's what I want the guitar to look like.
I just thought of a
91 Grand Voyager.
An amazing idea. Talking about cars, you know how the old radios has you turn the volume, and then it has like the red line over the track, and it like goes to like adjust the. It's to adjust like the station, right? What if that was your volume,
and it would adjust
tone,
the red line,
and you just had two little clear acrylic red line.
They did have rad knobs on those old car stereos,
but like if you were playing guitar, and there's two tracks, like one for tone, one for volume, and then two red lines, and every time you messed with it, you could see the red line moving up and down. That would be sick.
It'd be like that Ernie Ball guitar that's got like the 8-ball stick shifter on it. Have you seen that thing?
That's like the Spinal Tap guitar.
Yeah, the Spinal Tap guitar. Like it's like race car themed. We've gone really long with this episode.
So here's the one question I have, or here's my one thought on your guitar. If you want to do that like rusty underbody look, I think all you have to do is either you do rosewood body, which I guess with like the current wood laws might be complicated.
Well, you just have to get rosewood that comes with a different name from a different country.
Oh my god! Or you have your like whatever wood underneath. You stain it. Like, you know, if you do like mahogany body and then you do a traditional mahogany stain, so it's like dark brown.
No, you just have Matt from Mule make it for you.
From who?
Mule Resonator.
Oh.
You know Matt?
No, I don't.
Oh, he was at the show this year. But like,
does he do like rusty resonator style guitars or something like that?
No, he's like the coolest dude. I think by far he's the coolest guy that makes guitars, like period. Just as a person, like he's amazing. But like, he makes just like metal guitars.
Gotcha.
But like he literally made
not heavy metal, but they're heavy, but like they're not for heavy metal. They're guitars that are metal.
They're like always hollow or like resonators or whatever, you know.
But they're not for heavy metal, is what I'm saying.
No.
But they're made of metal.
But he could definitely make one rusty, is what I'm saying.
Right.
And then just like powder coat it blue.
That's what I need. I need a metal guitar that's powder coated blue.
And then sand through it so it rusts.
Or just leave it out in the rain.
Yeah. And then that could be like the way you relic it. Like you just like make it rusty in the spots.
Or what I do is I track down a 91 Dodge Caravan and then I harvest metal from it and have that turn into like the top of the guitar. Like just
that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, well, we got someone in the room with us who does a lot of work on guitars. He understands what I'm talking about.
Would the back be like the headstock could be like a carpet from the car?
Yeah.
Like matching.
And you know I got to get one of those seatbelt straps for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like where like it actually has like the
the buckle on it.
The double buckle thing. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Sorry, Steve. My guitar is cooler than yours.
Maybe we should
whatever.
Make this.
I don't want to fund it. But I would definitely play it, but then I would feel tempted to go buy a 91 Dodge Caravan.
No, all you got to do is
your wife does not approve.
Any of you guys listening, we will make it for you.
Yeah, I like that. You just have to
question mark to when it's finished.
Right.
And it'll be cool or not cool. We don't know yet.
It'll be so cool. It'll be the coolest.
Actually, you know Chris Benson?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know Benson.
Dude, Doug Cower made Chris Benson he made him a guitar about his minivan.
What?
We're literally talking about
I don't know if I've seen
No.
that.
We're talking about this, and Doug actually made
A minivan guitar.
Dude, what was the van that you were talking about?
A 91 Dodge Caravan.
What's the Dodge logo?
Oh,
Is
jeez.
it like
It's the Pentagon with
Is
like
it
the
the
star.
What's the logo that's like just kind of the elongated like X thing? Sorry.
Elongated
I'm going to
X
draw it
thing.
with you. No one can see it.
It's like a Chevy?
It's like that. Yeah, I think it's a Chevy.
Yeah, that's Chevy. That's the boat. They call it the bow tie.
Yeah.
Okay. Whatever minivan, it's a Chevy though that Chris has, and Doug color matched it, and then he made custom knobs with the Chevy logo on it, and then gave it to Chris.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You got to go deep into the Instagram archives for that, but it's there. So we're talking about it, but it already happened.
It already happened. It's just not for a Dodge Caravan though. That was my jam. We should wrap this episode up. We didn't even cover the second topic or the last ad, but who cares?
Sucked.
This show really sucks. I'm very sorry to everyone
We
who
didn't get to
listened.
anything.
Wait, you don't even want to do the next topic?
No, we're at an hour 5, man. We got it. It's a work
You know what,
night.
dude? I listened to a Tone Mob ep the other day that was 2 hours long.
What? What is Blake doing?
He was hanging out with Tavo.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice. Yeah,
Tavo just kept going and
Tavo will
going.
chew your ear off for sure. All right. Well, big thanks to our sponsors, Sinusoid Cables. They make cables.
And smiles.
And Nanolog Audio, makers of the Wave Function Overdrive. You got to go check out the demo. You got to go check out the price on this thing because they lowered the price like crazy, and they have a discount code 60CycleHum at checkout. It'll get you 15% off, and it's a freaking great pedal for that price. I'll tell you that right now. $219 with 15% off is a great deal for this really great like Tube Screamer style pedal that has 2 brand new, like newly invented analog components in it. So go check that out. Tell us about the song, Steve.
This song was sent by Scott Toolin. We played one of his songs a while ago. He says, here's another song I recorded recently. Again, I programmed the drums in MIDI. Everything else is me. Guitar tracks are telecasters through an old Lafayette tube amp. Some tracks feature my Magic 6 overdrive. Others, I used my Starlight drive pedal. Bass was recorded direct with a SansAmp bass DI, then beefed up with some compression. Vocals were recorded in my kitchen, much to the display of my wife and possibly some of my neighbors. That sounds like my life. This was sent by Scott from rstcustomeffects.com. The song is called Believe. Go check it out.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Oh, see it. Sorry.